You need a company profile. A company profile which gives a message to your presumptive buyers, your customers, where they can see and understand who you are and what you are offering. It should be a part of your identity, something that relates to what you actually are doing. This lecture will take up parts of this, but not all, because then this course will be a few hours longer, and that we don't do here. But you can develop this by yourself, or you can take help of someone. But here in this lecture, we give you a short introduction to what you should think of when you're doing your company profile. First of all, you need a company name. And if you are using that as your trading name also, the name you're trading under, this name is very important. Or if you have a different trading name, then that name is the important part. The name which the buyers are seeing when they are in contact with you. And you can have a short and clear name if you want to be successful. Normally that's the best, but it depends on what you are doing and so on. But I have seen that long names normally are used by small companies, whereas big companies like IKEA, Volvo, GM or Tata are examples of names from Sweden, USA and India, which are all much shorter and which you will remember easily and which therefore are successful, a part of it. The second thing you need is a brand name, maybe, depending on your business. The brand name you will register with the authorities who are handling brand names. And that brand name will then be protected in a special way. And you may need it or you may not need it. It depends on what you are doing. For a cafeteria which you have only one shop, normally you don't need it, but if you are going to have 20 or 30 cafeterias, then a brand name registration is definitely to recommend, to give an example. Or you have a special type of garments which you will have, maybe you need to register it. Brand name can be the same as the company name or trading name, but it doesn't have to be, it can be separate. And if you have different types of activities, you maybe have different brand names for different activities. If there is a software company, maybe bookkeeping software has one brand names, and the gaming softwares will have a totally different name because they don't relate so much to each other. Logo is also important. And logo is the name of the company designed in a special way when it comes to colors and style and so on. Or it can be an image of some kind, a symbol of some kind, or it can also be a little music or something. These days they have included that also. And the logo is something where you put everywhere you can, which on your things, so people can recognize just by seeing the logo. Aha, that's so and so. Do not use too many names normally, unless you need it. And there are legal aspects because they are registered and protected names and logos and brands, and you can't just do something that is same or very similar without breaching the rights of them, and then you risk to have to pay high fines if you do it. But we come back to the legal aspects a bit later. You may need a visiting card or what also known as a business card. and that should also include the most important information they need to be able to contact you and understand what you're doing. Plus, it should reflect your profile. Brochures, letterheads are other examples of stationeries that you may use for marketing yourself and so on. If you do it, you should do it, as I said, matching your profile. The right quality. If you're a high quality company, you must have very high quality on the material in these things. Or let's say you have an environmental friendly profile. Then of course you will print this information or business cards or brochure or whatever on environmentally friendly paper. You also need a web page. A good web page is important in many cases. Depends what you are doing, of course. But in these days, most companies or most activities need a web page. Now, a web page is important because it shouldn't be too complex. If it's too complex, it's difficult to find what you want to do, what your service is or what your products are. Then they get lost. They say that 3 clicks is what they usually use. After 3 clicks, they give up. So they must reach the right point within 3 clicks. And another thing is that you should have a web page that generates some kind of action, that they can order something or that they can contact you or they subscribe to a newsletter or something. It should be not just that they look and disappear, but you should use it for a contact or some sales or something. And if you have the skills, you can make it yourself, but if you don't have it, take some help. So again, this web page is important. And if you make a web page with substandard, you will lose the buyers before they have even looked properly on your web page. And it should match your profile even here, so that it has the same feeling as everything else you do. When you, as a business person, meet other people, you should be suitably dressed and be in good care of yourself so that you give a good impression. How you should dress also depends on your role. If you're selling food, maybe you should look like a chef. If you're selling sportswear, maybe you should be dressed like a sportsman. Or if you have a medical care center, maybe you should be dressed like a doctor, and so on. But sometimes also, if you're going to have a meeting where you're going to negotiate and it's about business to business, let's say, so, then maybe more formal dress is important. Also, how you dress is different from country to country and so on, different cultures. But when you are in a negotiating, many times they used to say, if you are better dressed than the one you're negotiating with, you have an upper hand. That can also be something to remember. So when it comes to your company profile, you need a lot of different material, maybe develop a logo, prepare a web page, and all the things. So one tip I can give you is that there is a web page people per hour you can use if you don't have other resources to do it. You can make your profile now, or you can make it later. If you make the profile now, it's the best in a way. Or maybe you say, I want to go through the other parts of the course first, then you can do it later. If you do it later, then put it in the step-to-step target list. So you don't forget it. It should be there. You don't forget that you have to do it. But one good thing is to do it parallel, because this takes some time. You can work a little time every day with the profile, and then you do some parts of the course, and you're also working on the business reports and so on. And remember that your profile can be the difference between failure or success. It's up to you to get the right profile.